Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 18th of January and we're going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The first is the annual survey on education report 2023. It is popularly known as the ASER report released by the Pratham NGO. This report clearly highlights the levels of learning outcomes among the rural children of India. It generally covers children from 6 to 14 years of age who are getting access to the benefits from the Right to Education Act. But this year's report has covered children from an upper age category, that is 14 to 18 years of age. Four key broad areas this report has assessed. First is ability, second is activity, third is general awareness, and fourth is aspirations among the students. This year's report has also highlighted the importance of usage of smartphones. But the sad part is that smartphones are generally being used for social media or watching videos or watching games, not for learning purposes. Apart from it, girls, particularly in the 11th, 12th category in the rural areas, they have to compulsorily opt humanities as a stream because there is non-availability of science or commerce over there. So these are the major highlights apart from, I would say, dismal learning outcomes, which is always there in all the ASER reports every year. This is there this year also. So we'll see in detail that what are the outcomes. Then why did Iran attack Pakistan, Iraq and Syria? First, Pakistan, because a terror outfit named Jaish-e-Adl attacked a police station in December in Iran. It is a Sunni-based outfit, Jaish-e-Adl, Pakistan-based, and it attacked the Shia Iran. Iraq, because on January 4th, there were serial bomb blasts in Iran which claimed more than 90 lives, and ISIS Khorasan has taken responsibility for this attack. ISIS Khorasan is active in Afghanistan. So its base in Syria has been attacked. Then Iran believes that, Israeli-based attacks were carried out on Iraq in December 2024, and in Iraq there is a spy house of Israel which has been attacked by Iran. So Iran has explicitly jumped into the conflict in West Asia, which is an ongoing conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians in Hamas. So this will further complicate the situation, and the conflict will now be more escalated, more widespread with Iran's direct involvement. So this is the issue. Now let's get started with the first topic, that is ASER report. The annual status of education report is the full form of ASER. Now this report is being released since 2005 by this NGO named Pratham. School enrollment, attendance, reading and arithmetic abilities among children 6 to 14 years in rural areas of the country. This report covered generally. But from 2017 onwards, according to the CEO of Pratham, they have started looking beyond this age category of 6 to 14 years. Like in 2017 itself, the survey was about 14 to 18 years children. Then again, it was for 6 to 14 years. Now this year's survey, which has been released, the findings are of 2023, that is last year. I would say, surveyed audience was 14 to 18 years, means class 8 till class 12th. Their ability to apply reading and math skills, this was judged. It also sought to capture their access to digital technology and whether possess skills to use it or not. Digital technology, smartphones to be specific. The ASER 2023 Beyond Basics survey was carried out among 34,745 young respondents in 28 rural districts in 26 states, including 2 districts each in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. So almost all the states were covered. But yes, if we see this word beyond basics, so beyond basics can be linked to this access to digital technology, which ASER has highlighted for the very first time. Now, enrollment, actually, as per the CEO of Pratham, She says that enrollment does not mean that children are regularly attending schools after getting enrolled. Enrollment generally means that the ability of the schools to reach the students. Even if they are reaching in online mode and delivering online classes, we will be considering them that those children as enrolled children. And that is why the importance of this digital technology has been taken into account by this year's ASER. What did the survey seek to measure? Actually, four broad buckets to measure. First was activity, second was aspiration, third was awareness in general, and last was ability. The survey added the digital component, as we all know. And do you know how to use a cell phone? This was a question from the students. The survey also included doing some tasks with a phone, such as setting an alarm or searching for information online. Searching for information online, that is useful information. And why this was included in this year's survey or this year's report? Because a lot have changed in the last 4 or 5 years with respect to digitalization or technology, and it is very important that the present day generation has those digital skills with them. Obviously, this is a double-edged sword, this domain digitalization, and if we expose children to this, then children can go the wrong way also. It hence is the responsibility of the parents to regulate their children's watch time or digital screen time, what they are watching, for how long they are watching, how they are accessing it, how the things which they are watching or accessing on the internet is impacting them. That has to be regulated by the parents. So this is something which is to be done, and this has been taken into account by ASER also. Now, the key findings of this year's report. This is very important, I would say. The first finding is a bit disturbing. Actually, all findings are disturbing. But yes, 30% of the children in this age category, 14 to 18 years of age, are working. Now, the child labor norms are relaxed after 14 years of age, because if you employ any person who is below 14 years of age, then that will be equivalent to child labor. But since, as per law, above 14 years employability is legal. So 30% in this age group are working. Most of them are working for their parents. But when they were asked, those students who are working, when they were asked that what they wanted to do when they grew up, the children say that this is not for them what they are doing right now. This is something which is good, but yes, these children's education or time should not be compromised. Then about 1 in 4 children, which means roughly 25% in this age bracket, 14 to 18 years age, cannot read a standard 2 level text. This is again disturbing, and these kind of figures have been there in the previous ASER reports as well. Like in that age category, 6 to 14 years, a class 5 student cannot read a class 2 student text. That is 57% of class 5 students cannot do that. This was the finding of last year's ASER report. 53% of the students did not know how to measure the length of a pencil by using a ruler. That was for the age bracket 6 to 14 years. So these kind of, I would say, disturbing outcomes are there in almost every year's ASER report, and the government should be focusing on these kind of, I would say, outcomes or these kind of findings and seek to improve the learning outcomes among the children. More than half struggle with division, 3 digit by 1 digit. So let's suppose 100 by 4. This is 3 digit by 1 digit division, and more than half cannot do this who are in class 8th. And this is basically a standard 3 or class 3, I would say, task. About 57% can read sentences in English. More than 73% among them can also tell their meanings. Boys do better than girls in both arithmetic and English reading. However, girls do better than boys in reading a standard 2 level text. More than 90% of respondents, children, said they can use smartphones, and this is not exclusive to any gender. So more than 90% say that they can use smartphones. About 90% of the surveyed household had smartphones. Of the surveyed children, almost 95% boys and 90% girls could use a smartphone. Now, The digital component is interesting because at one level it shows that everybody knows how to use these basic things, but they are not using in depth. They're using the surface layers, mainly engaging with social media. Now, these children who do not know this division, 3 digit by 1 digit, who cannot read a standard 2 text, around 25% of them, 90% of them know how to use a smartphone. And the bad, or I would, the concerning part of about this using the smartphone is that they only use, I would say, they're only using the surface layer. Surface layer means only they're not getting in the depth of it. They're only using the smartphones for getting access to social media or watching videos on YouTube and all. Among those who can use a smartphone, two-thirds reported using it for an education related activity also. Chalo, ठीक है, a breather I would say, such as watching online videos related to studies, solving doubts, or exchanging notes. Close to 80% reported using their smartphones for an entertainment related activity, such as watching a movie or listening to music. So, this is something which is actually not good, but yes, this particular component, that education related activity, if the smartphones are being used for, then that is actually the most judicious use of smartphones for children. Else, social media, I would say that they would be wasting their time. So it is like this. Now, report card from the classroom: percentage of children who can do everyday calculations. Male, with respect to time, 50.5%. Weights, 65.8% males can do it. 87.5% males can do it. Do calculations with respect to length, easy length, hard length, 45.7, unitary method, 55.9. Learning outcomes among the girls is something which is disturbing. 41.1% of the girls could do simple calculations with respect to time, 45.4% with respect to weights, 82.1% with respect to length, easy length, 33.3% with respect to hard length, unitary method 42%. Now, overall, if I see, the learning outcomes are not so easy. Then arithmetic level, division, if I talk about all, 43.3% could do it, 21% could do subtraction, number recognition, 35.8% could do. Okay. So this is there, and here also if we see, in most of the cases, girls are better than boys. Subtraction, 21.6% females can do it, 20.2% males can do it. Number recognition, 36.6% females can do it, 34.8% males could do it. Here in division, males were better than females, but that too not so much. So these are the basic findings of ASER report. The main thing is that the government should be working on improving the outcomes. Now next is, why did Iran attack Pakistan, Iraq and Syria? Now, if you remember this particular triangle which I have been frequently using for West Asia, Sunnis, Jews, Shias. Shias is Iran, this is Israel, and these are UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Palestinians, and all are here. Even Pakistan though is part of South Asia, not West Asia, but yes, since Pakistan is into picture right now, so I'll say that Pakistan is Sunnis. Now, when I come to this, there is conflict between this line, Sunnis and Jews, because the Jews displace the Palestinians. There is conflict on Sunnis and Shias. A historic conflict is there, and that is very deep rooted. Between Jews and Shias, since 1979, since there is this theocratic government in Iran, that theocratic government is anti-West, hardcore anti-West, and Israel is hardcore pro-West. So that is why, they are rivals. Now the conflict is happening between Jews and Sunnis, Palestinians, the Hamas. The conflict presently is happening like this. The Sunnis, basically Hamas, have received, I would say, support from Iran, Hezbollah and the Houthis. All are Shias. So this Shia Sunni angle is kind of fading away because Shias are supporting Sunnis like Iran or Hezbollah, or I would say Houthis. Hezbollah and Houthis are Shias and they are Shia militants. They are supporting the Sunnis, that is Hamas. So this was the changing equation in West Asia, where the Sunnis and Shias were coming closer. But now, with certain developments in Iran, the Sunnis and Shias, they tend to drift. Now, is it orchestrated, or is it, I would say, planned or designed? Well, we cannot say anything about it. But yes, we need to think on these lines. Now, the three attacks on Iran. First, on a police station in Rask in Iran's Sistan Balochistan province. Sistan Balochistan province is that province which borders Pakistan. And this attack killed 11 Iranian security personnel, and this attack was claimed by Jaish al-Adl. Jaish al-Adl, the Army of Justice, is a Sunni-based terror outfit based in Pakistan. Next is on December 25, Brigadier General Saeed Razi Mousavi. Saeed Razi Mousavi was a senior advisor to Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. IRGC is one of the elite forces of Iran. They carry out, I would say, covert operations, attacks and all. And these recent attacks on all these three countries was carried out by IRGC. So this person, General Saeed Razi Mousavi, was an advisor to IRGC. He was killed. Iran believed that Israel was after this killing. And, it was carried out from Iraq, this particular killing. So, that is why Iraq was attacked. Pakistan because of Jaish al-Adl. Then on January 3, 2024, a memorial event for General Qasem Soleimani, the Quds Force commander who was assassinated by US in 2020, was there, and it was attended by hundreds of people. Iran was hit by twin blasts, killing at least 94 people. The Islamic State Khorasan has claimed responsibility for it. Islamic State Khorasan is in Afghanistan. Iran did not attack Afghanistan, but Iran attacked the base of ISIS, that is in Syria. ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. So, that place in Syria where the ISIS Khorasan get trained, that place was attacked by Iran. So, it was these three events which led to retaliation by Iran. So, Iran's retaliation on January 16, Iran claimed to have carried out retaliatory strikes against the perpetrators of all these attacks which we have just mentioned. First, it launched missiles and kamikaze drones into Erbil, the capital city of Iraq's Kurdistan. The IRGC claimed that its attack destroyed espionage center of Mossad. Mossad is Israel's external security agency or intelligence agency. Now, what is Iraq claiming? Iraq is claiming that you have killed or you have attacked one of the major businessmen of that region, Kurdistan, in Iraq. And Iran claims that that businessman had deep links with Mossad. That is why we attacked that house, and from that house a lot of intelligence activities had been happening. Then on the same day, Iran launched at least 4 ballistic missiles into Syria's Idlib. Now this Idlib is that place where the ISIS Khorasan jihadists who operate from Afghanistan's eastern province get training in Idlib. IRGC claimed that its attacks destroyed IS training camps in Idlib. So this was there. Then on January 16, Iran carried out a surprise attack in Panjgur. Panjgur is basically over here. This is Pakistan, this is Balochistan of Pakistan, and this is Sistan Balochistan in Iran, the province bordering Pakistan. And in this Sistan Balochistan province, the attack was carried out by that Jaish al-Adl, and Panjgur is again a launch pad as well as a training ground for Jaish al-Adl. That is why it was attacked by Iran. Jaish al-Adl is a Sunni militant outfit which is anti-Iran or anti-Shias, which carried out these kind of attacks. Now, India's response, that is something which we need to understand and know. India has defended Iran. India said that, you know, we are against all forms of terrorism. Although India was very careful and smart in its response, India did not say anything about the attacks carried out by Iran in Iraq and Syria. However, for the attacks carried out by Iran in Pakistan, India said that, you know, Iran has done this act in self defense. And we have, from time immemorial, condemned all acts of terrorism, and Jaish al Adl had been involved in conducting acts of terrorism. So, that is why Iran's attacks are justified. So, Ministry of External Affairs says India understands actions in self defense. Iran's strikes inside Pakistan had come just a day after External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's visit to Tehran, means Iran. So it is like this. The last is Supreme Court on hate speech and incitement of violence. The Supreme Court wants authorities to act on the incitement to violence and hate speech. This is basically, in line with the I would say Ram Mandir being inaugurated. So there are many Hindu outfits all across the country who have become suddenly very active. Being active is not a concern, but yes, if they are being active and in this course of being active, they pass some or they deliver some hate speeches which incite hatred and become the reasons for communal tensions in the country, that is something which is uncalled for. So, this is in the backdrop of some cultural events being planned by Hindu Jana Jagruti Sabha in Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh. So here, the Supreme Court said the DMs and SPs concerned will take necessary steps as may be required to assess any situation or any speech as hate speech, and then they are empowered to stop that event also. But the big question with respect to hate speech is that hate speech has no specific legal definition. Although the upcoming IPC, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which has not been enforced yet, has elements which define hate speech. But yes, as of now, there is no specific legal definition of hate speech. There is a general understanding with respect to hate speech. It is considered as provocation of masses to incite violence targeting a certain section of the society. That creates hatred among two sections of the society, and that hatred is created by, delivering some speech by a noted personality or an influential personality. Provisions in law criminalize speeches, writings, actions, signs, and representation. Not only speeches can be equivalent to or tantamount to hate speech, but yes, any writings also, if that those writings are instigating such kind of feelings or actions or signs or representations that generate this kind of provocation among the masses and they start targeting a certain section of the society, that will also be considered as or equivalent to hate speech. Hate speech at times is perceived as contradictory to freedom of speech and expression, a fundamental right given to us under Article 19 of the Constitution. But yes, we should understand one more fact, that this freedom of speech and expression is not absolute. It is not absolute. This freedom of speech and expression is there unless and until the social fabric or the harmony is not destroyed. If your actions, words, speeches are destroying the social harmony of the society, then you will be punishable. That act will not be counted as an act under freedom of speech and expression. So at times this comes into conflict. It depends on the I would say interpretation of that particular activity or that particular episode. But yes, generally this happens. Now, legal provisions for hate speech, section 153A and 505 of the IPC deal with hate speech. But yes, there is no legal definition of hate speech. It has not been defined anywhere. But yes, how they deal with it. Under section 153A, promotion of enmity between different groups on grounds of religion, race, place of birth, residence, language, etc. and doing acts prejudicial to maintenance of harmony is an offence punishable with 3 years imprisonment. If you see this and understand the essence of this, you will feel ki bhai, it is equivalent to hate speech. Then section 505 of IPC, Indian Penal Code, makes it an offense to making statements conducting to public mischief. So this is there. Then Representation of Peoples Act 1951, which generally is responsible for regulating the conduct of the legislators, whether parliamentarians or the members of legislative assemblies. It disqualifies a person from contesting election if he is convicted for indulging in acts amounting to illegitimate use of freedom of speech and expression. So, the disqualification will be there according to Representation of Peoples Act 1951. If any person is found to deliver speeches and incite those speeches or those actions of that person will incite hatred among the different sections of the society. So these are some legal provisions with respect to hate speech, but the biggest problem is that there is no legal definition of hate speech, which brings a lot of ambiguity in this particular domain, and it will be left to the Superintendent of Police, that is SP, and the DMs, district magistrates, to interpret any activity as hate speech, and if they interpret it, they can stop that activity as well. This is the order of the Honorable Supreme Court. And with this, we've ended today's session. I will be meeting you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.